All right, welcome back. The Senate. All right, so again, floor debate in the Senate. Less formal, fewer rules than in the House. Fewer members, more individual power to those individual members, and we're going to really see that case in point in this video. All right, so there are some things that are allowed in the Senate that are not allowed in the House. One is riders. In the Senate, you can put a rider on a bill. So we're talking about on the Senate floor. Now, if you remember, in the House, there is a germaneness requirement, meaning that all discussion must be relevant and on topic. It's the same thing with the amendments or additions they would put on bills. They must be germane to the bill. So they could make a change about the specific bill, but they couldn't add something that has nothing to do with it. Guess what? In the Senate, you can. You can add whatever you want if you can get enough people to go along with you, obviously. So my picture is an example of one that happened back a few years ago. I think it was like 2012-ish, where the bill was for the budget, but the Senate added some riders that would allow the indefinite detention of suspected terrorists, whether they're American citizens or not, and that's a rider. It didn't have anything to do with the bill itself, but it was added to the bill and then voted on as part of the entire bill, so that's a rider. Senators can also add holds to a bill. A hold prevents a bill from being brought to the floor. So again, I have an example here. That's Senator Richard Shelby from Alabama. And long story short, he put a hold on every one of Obama's judicial nominees for federal courts, not because he opposed them because of their partisan identification or their ideology, but rather because he wanted the Senate to pass a bill that would give a huge contract to a company in Alabama to be in charge of air-to-air refueling planes. It turns out that holds are anonymous, but some people found out in the Senate who it was, and they leaked it to the press, and it made him look really bad. But anyway, that's how a hold works, is that if any one senator in the whole Senate wants to say to prevent a bill from being brought to a floor, prevent it from being voted on, they are able to do so by issuing a hold. Another way that they can block action is by filibustering. A filibuster is a long speech. The purpose of that speech is to delay action and prevent a vote from taking place. So normally, a filibuster will be done by the opposition, obviously, and it'll be done by the minority party. The idea is that if the filibuster didn't take place and the vote were actually allowed to happen, that if they voted, that vote would go the way that that senator doesn't want it to. So he filibusters, long speech, to try to stop that vote from taking place. I have some pictures there. Rand Paul in the bottom right-hand corner, he filibustered Obama's appointment of Brennan to be CIA director. Green Eggs and Ham, that was Ted Cruz. He did a filibuster, and he actually at one point read Green Eggs and Ham to his kids. He, read them their bedtime story. That's how long his filibuster is going on. But again, the purpose to stop the vote from taking place. Now, what's happened recently is that you no longer actually have to stand up and give the long speech anymore. Now we have something called double tracking, or also known as a silent filibuster. That's where essentially somebody announces their intention to filibuster the bill. The bill is then put on the shelf, and the Senate moves on to other business. So they don't actually make the person stand up there and speak for hours on end, because nothing else can get done when that happens. So now they double track it, they put that bill aside, and they move on and do other stuff. Why this matters, it is now much easier to filibuster. You don't actually have to stand up there holding your pee and not being able to eat and all of that. So now filibusters happen all the time, and you can see in that chart on the right-hand side that filibusters have greatly increased since the 90s as a result of this. To end a filibuster, you need 60 senators, a 3/5 vote, and it's called cloture. So the term for ending a filibuster or a hold is cloture, and it requires 60 votes to end the filibuster. All right, the result or the consequences of these increased filibusters is that neither party can truly control the Senate without 60 members. If you have 59, that's great. You'll pass any bill. It still only takes 51 votes to pass the bill. However, if you only have 59 on your side and 41 on the other side can filibuster the bill, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it often requires 60 votes, not 51, to pass controversial bills. And that number 60 is often referred to as a super majority. So a regular majority is, a simple majority, 51. A supermajority is a majority of a larger fraction or percentage. So this is a 3/5 supermajority. So that's a really, really important thing to make sure you have note of. And something that's been used more and more in recent years as well is something called a unanimous consent agreement. These kind of have the opposite intention of a hold. Whereas the hold is trying to slow down and prevent bills from being discussed and voted on, unanimous consent is actually used to speed up proceedings. So, it allows the Senate to dispense with their formal rules and instead follow negotiated agreements submitted to the floor for the unanimous approval of senators. So in other words, they ask everybody, hey, you guys mind if we get rid of the rules and we restrict how long we have to debate, or we do something else so we can speed this thing up? And if nobody objects, the unanimous consent agreement passes and they're able to get through business faster. This has been a La Money production.